impacted so many women's lives because I made that one decision. It took one person to choose their faith over their disbelief, to choose their faith instead of their fear. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Karla Eli Show. I'm your host, Karla Eli, and I'm here to guide you towards wisdom so that you may unlock a life of abundance by mastering the feminine balance. Please, please, please make sure to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the show. It lets me know if I'm doing well or not. Whatever it is, please be sensitive. If you're going to put a comment down below, I accept criticism, but not hate. So please, please, please be gentle with my kind soul. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we are going to tackle this disbelief slash limiting belief that we have that dreams don't pay bills. I would like to argue that and say that dreams do pay bills, and even more than just bills. And here's why. Our dreams are deeply rooted with our heart and the desires of our heart. Most of the time, those dreams that we have don't even come from us. They are placed by our creator, and we are faced with making the decision to either pursue our purpose and our calling or decide to stay in our comfort zone. I like to refer to our comfort zone as the princess state of mind, to refer to those women who are in devotion as empire queens, or the queen state of mind. And here's why. There's this repeated cycle that we face as women. The first one being self-discovery, the second one being decision-making, and the third one being devotion. When we reside in devotion, that is when we are the most fulfilled, the happiest, and the healthiest. But a lot of us are still in self-discovery. What is self-discovery? Self-discovery is when you're in the realm of figuring out what your purpose is, figuring out what you're good at, figuring out what personality type you have, who you're compatible with, what you want your life to look like in the next 5 to 10 years. That is what self-discovery is. And man, oh man, do we love to stay in that zone of like, I don't know what I want to do, but I'm going to figure it out. Or like, oh my gosh, let me take this personality quiz. Like, don't we love taking personality quizzes? I still do that sometimes, okay? Guilty pleasure. I take like those Disney princess quiz, like figure out which princess type you are, or like figure out which superhero you are. Don't we love those? Those are so fun. And the reason why we cling onto those is because we want to feel identified with someone. Love it because we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about this. I didn't know this about myself. And it's so fun. It's so fun figuring out more and more about who we are. But it becomes dangerous and unhealthy when we stay there. But this is what happens. Let me walk you through what happens. Once we figure out who we are, what we were meant to do in this world, then we go along our journey, and that's when we get stomped by a wall. That wall is called decision making. When we're faced with this decision of where we should go or where we need to go, two things will happen. One of them being we decide to be in devotion or decide to follow our calling, follow our purpose, and stay true to the dreams that we have. Or the most common reaction is deciding out of fear, embarrassment, and unsafety. So instead of deciding to break through that wall, we hide. Or we let go of our dreams and we let disbelief win us over. And then we're back to our self-discovery and doing it all over again. And you can see this pattern in any circumstance in your life, whether it be relationships or professionally. So what we have to do as empire queens is let our faith win our disbelief. Let God's voice be louder than our anxiety, than our embarrassment, than our shame. And the only way that we can do that is by having self-compassion and walking into forgiveness. By taking a moment to breathe and slowing down and being clear with the vision, with the mission that God has called us to do. I'm going to use my story as an example. Specifically, when I was writing in a journal for my future husband for 5 years. I was 17 when I started writing in this journal. Everybody thought that I was crazy. But you know who didn't think that I was crazy? My Father in heaven. There was a reason why he placed this desire in my heart. There was a reason why I was in love with love. And because I knew where to direct this desire, I knew who the man was meant for me. I chose a partner out of purpose. And you know what that led me to? That led me to a life of ease. And you know what that led me to? Creating videos. So I had to face two decisions. One, deciding that my faith was going to be greater than my disbelief, that I was going to find the man of my dreams. Not because of my own strength, not because of my own strategies, but because I was being obedient to God's word and I was working on my character, on my discernment and my wisdom. I was going to have the tools and resources necessary to choose the correct person. Keyword, choose. I chose. Decision making. Secondly, once I had stability in my life and I had a life of ease, I had to make a decision again. I started creating videos because God kept knocking. He's like, Karla, you're here to serve women. He kept knocking. I started creating videos and then I went viral. My videos had impact because women needed my guidance and my advice. And there I bumped into another decision-making moment. We were driving and my husband's like, you need to take this opportunity. Women are asking you to coach them. I was terrified. I was never a business owner. No one in my family had owned their own business. And what if it didn't work out? I was scared, but I said, you know what? My faith is going to be bigger, greater than my disbelief. And I made the decision to open up my own business. And that's when resources came to me. That's when all of a sudden a $5,000 grant came up to my feet, literally. And I learned how to, build an LLC. I learned so much. But it took me making that decision first in order for the blessings and the resources and tools to come afterwards. And now I'm in devotion. Now NBC News is covering my story. Now I'm showing up on the mainstream media. Now we have our own merch store. We have this YouTube channel. We have a podcast. And I've impacted so many women's lives because I made that one decision. It took one person to choose their faith over their disbelief, to choose their faith instead of their fear, instead of their shame, instead of their embarrassment. Imagine what would happen if you chose today, if you chose to take your purpose and be faithful to it and walk in faith. Imagine the impact. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with relationships. It could be with another profession. So ladies, it's time to make a decision. Starting on April 5th, I'm going to be hosting a group coaching mastermind where I'm going to be diving into 4 modules. The first one is going to be about deciding on your purpose. And we're going to dive deep into what your purpose is. The second class is going to be on how to identify your purposeful partner. The third class is going to be on how to communicate your desires without feeling embarrassed, shamed, or unsafe. It's going to be a class on communication, on effective communication and mastering effective communication. The fourth class is going to be on boundaries within your relationships when it comes to conversations and communication. How should you be speaking to your partner? What are things you shouldn't be speaking on? And of course, after every single class, there is going to be a Q&A section. So you'll have the opportunity to talk to me and ask me a question. I'm only taking 20 students, 20 mentees. Reserve your spot before they get full. For more information, please go to karlaeli.com. It's going to be called Speak Now, and I'm so excited to be your mentor in this. Decide today before it's too late. And with that being said, ladies, be wise.